So I was thinking, who in the modern game is stylistically most similar to Kaka? Jamal Musiala and Florian Wirtz are the first two that came to mind, maybe also Bellingham as well, but after that I began thinking that Matheus Cunha is actually very similar to Kaka, in terms of being very skillful but also a powerful dribbler, which combined with his central midfield level of ball control and dribbling, and throw in there his goal scoring threat, playmaking and ability to create chances, and you may have the complete modern day attacking midfielder. And so in this video I'm going to be giving tactical examples of how Cunha could improve Amorim's 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, offering something very similar to what Kaka would if he was brought to the modern day, analysing Cunha statistically alongside going through Kaka's career. But before I carry on with the analysis, if you want to check out any cheap, good quality football jerseys, go over to dragonjersey.com. They sent me over one of their retro shirts, this Manchester United 2006-2007 long sleeved home shirt with Ronaldo 7 on the back, which may be my favourite jersey of all time, with Ronaldo's performance that season making it even more iconic. They've also got other retro and current season jerseys available, and depending on where you live you can get 7 to 12 day delivery time. If you use code Atlantis at checkout you will get a discount for a limited time, so I'll leave it linked in the description and in the comment section below. So Matheus Cunha in Amorim's 3-4-3 system would play as a left-sided interior forward, dropping deep and inverting infield during the build-up phase, looking to drag a fullback high and central, creating space for him then to turn and spin into later on in the move. But he doesn't just have to spin on the outside, he could also spin on the inside if the ball goes down United's right, which in turn is going to open up space for United's left wing-back Dorgu, or in my summer transfer scenario Dwight McNeil to overlap into. And if you do want context about the lineup, go and watch my Who Manchester United Should Sign video. I'll leave it linked in the eye above and at the top of the description below. So the reason I make comparisons between Kaka and Cunha is because like Kaka, I think Cunha has the pace to be able to either transition the attack quickly, utilising his press resistance to turn the fullback, pushed up onto his back and drive into the space, or receive the ball facing goal, and then driving into the open space at speed, which will allow United to create artificial counter-attacking situations, with Cunha being an elite level athletic ball carrier. Shirky, Mount, Bruno or maybe even Xerxes on the other side can move towards the ball, looking to drop to the edge or even inside the defensive third at the top of a diamond, with one of the back three, likely the central centre back, pushing to the edge of the box, though it could be one of the left sided or right sided centre backs as well, alongside the midfield double pivot on either side. Now from here, with a striker like Osimhen, who would be my first choice, he's able to peel over and run the channels, and so this is likely going to force one of the centre backs to pull wide into the channel, with the fullback on that side being drawn high and central by the movement of either Cunha or Shirky. And in this sort of pattern of play, I would actually advise Cunha making a movement right across the pitch to the right side, putting the right back in an awkward position, having to either follow Cunha across the pitch into the space that the left back has vacated, leaving United's left flank completely open, with Victor Osimhen holding a position between the two centre backs, looking to pin them back as centrally as possible. Or if Cunha can outrun the right back, he can become a free man in space on the right. If United can work the ball down the right side, with Ahmad the right wing back and Shirky the right sided interior forward, pulling the left back and the left sided midfielder higher up the pitch, now Cunha has space to receive the ball in and exploit. See, against a man-to-man press, which is what the majority of aggressive pressing sides are going to be using against United, Amorim has to look to give players like Cunha and Shirky in those two interior forward roles greater freedom to move into where the space is, allowing them to cover more ground and pick up the ball anywhere across the pitch, as this effectively breaks down the possession game into micro 1v1 duels. If Cunha can break away from his marker, the right back, he can receive the ball, and because the rest of the opposition defensive shape are also man-to-man pressing, he should then have space to drive the ball forward into. And his ability to do this is very reminiscent of Kaka, and now we're going to come on to his career. So Kaka was born in 1982 and his talent was undeniable from the start. At just 8 he joined Sao Paulo's youth academy, where his technical mastery and vision set him apart. And by 2001 he was dominating the Brazilian top league and catching the eye of Europe's biggest teams. But here's a twist. A near paralysing spinal injury at 18 could have actually ended his career. Instead he called it a miracle recovery, fueling his relentless rise. After winning the World Cup with Brazil in 2002, in 2003 AC Milan signed him and Kaka exploded onto the global stage. With his effortless but powerful dribbling and pinpoint passes, he became the engine and playmaker of one of football's greatest teams, with the 2 solo goals that he scored against Manchester United at Old Trafford in the Champions League first leg semi-final in 2007 being one of his many masterclass performances throughout that campaign. Then came Real Madrid's Galactico era, but injuries haunted him. Despite a La Liga title, his prime clashed with Cristiano Ronaldo's arrival. Was his signing in 2009 overshadowed? Almost certainly. Yet in adversity, his professionalism never wavered. Kaka was sandwiched between Ronaldinho and Messi and Ronaldo, and he would go down as the last Ballon d'Or winner in 2007 before Ronaldo and Messi would dominate the next decade or so. But despite being in his prime in the mid-2000s, I would actually argue that Kaka would suit modern day football a lot more than he did the late 2000s and early 2010s. But back to Cunha, we know he's going to be effective in the build-up phase when the space is there to artificially counter-attack and he can carry the ball into that space. But what about in the middle third, where Cunha won't have the space to carry the ball into when he receives it, as he would in the middle third, especially after a turnover? Well, I actually think he can be equally, if not more effective, being a player who can drift between the lines, receive the ball in congested areas, and work his way out using quick passing interplays with teammates or turning out of pressure himself, whilst also having a winger-like turn of pace, allowing him to dart in behind the back line in a similar way to what we see with Garnacho currently. Although in the final third, Cunha has a quality that Garnacho lacks. He's a much better ball manipulator and finisher inside of the box, from aerial situations and also from distance, where he has a similar kind of clutch quality to Bruno Fernandes. And I genuinely believe that if Matheus Cunha is used correctly at whatever club he goes to next, he could be a Ballon d'Or contender within the next 5 years. I mean, people talk about Cunha only having been performing at this sort of level for the past 18 months, but he's only 25, 26 in May, so he's not even in his peak ages at the moment. He's had a steady improvement, and imagine if this continues over the next 1 to 2, 3 or even more seasons. I mean, Roberto Firmino took until this age to really get to the level that Cunha is at now, and I can see Cunha getting even better. I think Cunha certainly passes the eye test in terms of his ability, but how does he look statistically? Well, before I tell you that, a quick reminder, I have got a Patreon where you can get a 7-day free trial to read some of my articles, and you can also get access to my in-game Instagram group chat as well. I'll leave it linked in the description and in the eye above. But back to Cunha, when compared against every other attacking midfielder and winger in the Premier League this season, he ranks in the 97th percentile for his non-penalty goals, scoring at a rate of 0.58 per 90, which is a massive overperformance on his non-penalty XG of around 0.28 per 90, as he also ranks highly for that metric as well, sitting in the 82nd percentile. Add on to this his XG assisted ranking in the 86th percentile, passes into the final third and penalty area, both in the mid 80th percentiles as well, switches of play and through balls in the 94th and 87th percentile respectively, successful take-ons in the 83rd, and carries into the final third in the 93rd, and you can see why I rate Cunha so highly. Now, he's not what I would describe as aerially dominant as the stats show, but he can certainly pick up goals from aerial chances inside of the box, though he isn't really someone who can be used consistently as a target man option receiving direct balls from deep. And this impressive per 90 output also translates across the season into goals and assists as well, with Cunha picking up 14 goals and 4 assists in 27 Premier League games this season, having scored 12 and assisted 7 in 32 games last season, and that's for a relegation threatened Wolves. And so at Manchester United next season, I definitely think Cunha has the potential to be competing with the likes of Isaac and Haaland, looking to break 20 plus Premier League goals, which combined with his ball carrying, dribbling, progressive passing, chance creation and pace, makes Cunha one of the most complete attacking midfielders in world football, reminiscent of the skill set and impact on the game that Kaka had during his time at AC Milan. So let me know what you think of Matheus Cunha as a signing, with his release clause standing at £62 million. I'll leave my Who Manchester United should sign video on the end screen now alongside my Patreon, and if you do want to check out any cheap, good quality football jerseys, go over to dragonjersey.com. You can use code Atlantis at checkout for a 10% discount, so I'll leave it linked in the description and in the comment section below. Also, if you want to read any of my articles, you can get a 7-day free trial, or you can sign up to my in-game Instagram group chat, so I'll leave that linked on the end screen now as well.